Commercial aviation operated on absolute trust. A person could walk up to an airline counter, hand over $20 in cash, and buy a one-way ticket under a fake name without ever showing a single piece of ID. That is exactly what a man calling himself Dan Cooper did in Portland, Oregon. He was in his mid-40s, wearing a dark business suit and a black clip-on tie. Everyone who saw him that day agreed on one thing: he looked like any other businessman catching a short flight home for Thanksgiving. Once aboard Flight 305, he took a seat near the back of the cabin and ordered a bourbon and soda. Then he passed a folded note to a flight attendant. Thinking it was a pickup line, she slipped it into her pocket on red, until he leaned over and told her she needed to look at it. The note said he had a bomb. To prove it, Cooper opened his briefcase just enough for her to see a mass of wires and red sticks. He didn't shout or cause a scene. Instead, he spoke to the crew calmly, laying out his exact demands. He wanted $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting on the tarmac when they landed in Seattle. By treating the hijacking like a quiet boardroom negotiation, Cooper maintained complete control. He prevented any panic among the passengers, ensuring the cabin remained entirely stable for what he was planning to do next. In Seattle, the exchange went off without violence. Cooper traded all 36 unharmed passengers for the money and parachutes, keeping a skeleton crew on board. He ordered the pilots back into the air, setting a course toward Mexico City. But he issued strict flight parameters. The plane had to stay below 10,000 feet, with the wing flaps deployed. Most importantly, they had to fly with the rear passenger stairs lowered and open to the outside night sky. This diagram illustrates exactly why he chose this flight. The Boeing 727 was unique because it was specifically designed with a rear air stair that could be mechanically operated from the inside, bypassing normal cabin lock systems. At cruising altitude, violent depressurization will rip you out of the plane. By forcing the pilots under 10,000 feet, Cooper ensured cabin pressure matched the outside air, making the stairs safe to open. Lowering the wing flaps created aerodynamic drag. This slowed the aircraft to 200 miles per hour, fast enough to stay airborne, but slow enough that a human wouldn't be instantly crushed upon exiting. Cooper utilized a specialized understanding of the 727's engineering to turn the aircraft's own mechanics into an exit door. Somewhere over the dense, freezing forests of southwest Washington, Cooper lowered those rear stairs and stepped out into a storm, plummeting into a pitch-black night with rain whipping past at 200 miles per hour. The crew felt a sudden, distinct shift in the cabin's weight. When the plane finally landed, they found the rear section completely empty. Cooper and the $200,000 had vanished. The FBI immediately launched one of the largest manhunts in its history, codenamed Norjack. Teams combed the freezing Washington wilderness for weeks, but they found absolutely nothing. No body, no parachute, and no money. The first physical trace of Cooper didn't surface until 1980, when an 8-year-old boy digging in the sand along the Columbia River uncovered 3 decaying bundles of cash, perfectly matching the serial numbers from the ransom money. But finding the cash only deepened the mystery. If Cooper survived the perilous jump and managed to escape, why would he leave thousands of dollars of his hard-won ransom buried in the sand, entirely untouched for a decade? Decades later, forensic analysis of the clip-on tie Cooper left on his seat revealed microscopic particles of titanium and bismuth embedded in the fabric. In 1971, these materials were exceptionally rare, pointing investigators toward suspects working inside specialized aerospace manufacturing. Investigators gathered a partial DNA profile, identified the exact ransom bills, and scrutinized over 800 suspects. Yet every piece of physical evidence contradicted the last. The investigation was caught in an inescapable dead end. The hijacking forced a rethink of aircraft security, highlighting how a standard passenger cabin could be exploited as a launchpad for a mid-air escape. This diagram shows the direct result of the crime. Engineers rapidly invented a simple exterior latch. When the plane is moving, aerodynamic wind flow pushes this latch into a locked position, making it physically impossible to open the rear stairs mid-flight. It was installed on all Boeing 727s, and it became known as the Cooper vane. After 45 years of chasing a ghost through dense forests and conflicting evidence, the FBI officially suspended the active investigation in 2016. Cooper stepped off those stairs and into American folklore, the only person to ever hijack a plane, take the money, and leave the FBI with nothing but a clip-on tie and 50 years of silence.